We have our 7 Minutes to Better Selling wrap-up podcast. So we're going to take the last 4 podcasts that we did, and we're going to talk about a few of the nuggets from each one of them. Our last 4 guests were some rocking guests who had some really, really impactful ideas for us to use, and like all driven around this idea of helping our clients get what they need for the singular goal of helping our clients get what they need. Now, that was said or repeated intentionally with this idea that many times salespeople will say things and do things and listen with the intentions of trying to find business. And that was almost the exact opposite of what each of our 4 folks talked about over the last 4 weeks. So 4 weeks ago, we had Marty Ferguson. Marty Ferguson was a partner at Accenture and an extraordinarily successful consultant for Accenture in the life sciences business. He has since retired and now is an academic professor at WPI, which is where he got his undergraduate degree. And so what Marty said, just to the point I made a minute ago, is Marty said, listen to learn something, period. Hard stop. When you're talking with anybody, just listen to learn. That should be enough. And once you kind of like work that, say it a couple times out loud and think it internally, you will start to get better at it. There is a cheat, like a cheat. You can say it out loud a couple times. You can say it internally sometimes. The next conversation you will have, you will listen better. And this is one of those things Marty told us. And then, the other thing he pulled that thought through, and he said, listen to learn how you can help them improve their client and prospect relationships. And so like if you need more motivation and simply just listen to learn, is listen to figure out how you can help them improve or better their client relationships, both prospect and client relationships. So Marty, awesome job. Thank you. Our next podcast, as you can see here, we have Mike Colette on there. There he goes. There's Mike. We had Mike Colette on. Mike Colette has been an amazing, has had an amazing impact in my life from a physical perspective. He owns the gym that I belong to. The gym has consistently been best in Massachusetts. It's been a best in Boston gym. It just won a global award for one of the best gyms in the world from Mindcracker. Not Mindcracker. That's our next guest, Mahesh. From Two Brains, that had brains on my brain, or mind on my brain. So Two Brains awarded him one of the best gyms in the world. And it's for a singular reason. He has had this ability to create a community where these hundreds of people who belong to this gym are all on the same page of working together to help each other network, to help each other find jobs when that's needed, to help each other find the plumber when that's needed, to help each other, get better when their shoulders hurting them or their calves hurting them, whatever it happens to be. He's just built this amazing community. And what he said, much like Marty Ferguson had suggested, is he is constantly looking for ways to help one another, help each other at the gym get better at what they're doing, whether it be family, whether it be their passion, or whether it be their profession. He's constantly looking for ways to connect gym members to do that for one another. What a special thought in a gym. Like most gyms, you go in there, try and keep it clean and don't charge me too much. No, he said, no. I'm going to do that stuff. That's table stakes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do something else. And as a result of that, we at Prototype Training Systems have this shared vision. And when there's shared vision, there is a community. And when there is a community, there is a group of people that can do more together. And that's what he's been able to do. And he talked about that. And he talked about ways to do that. And so that was an amazing call with Mike Colette. Next, we transitioned to Mahesh Seth. And I talked about Mahesh just a second ago. He's the CEO and founder of Mindcracker. Mahesh is a really good friend. Mahesh has done some personal work with me as a entrepreneur coach. He is a serial entrepreneur himself and has lots of wonderful wisdom to share as it relates to how to get a business from like stuck on start, like I want to do this, to actually doing it. And then once you're doing it, how to grow it and how to scale it. And so Mahesh had some really nice thoughts. And specifically, he said, is there are tools at all of our fingertips. In particular, he was talking about social media. And he said, so many people don't know how to use it. And he said, not that it's like the easiest thing in the world to use. However, go on YouTube and watch a bunch of videos and figure out how to use some of these social media tools to grow your presence, whether you're in sales or you're an entrepreneur salesperson. Like, we're always selling something, Mahesh said. Mahesh is more of an IT guy. And he said, we're always selling something to someone, whether it be our services, our next project, or whatever it happens to be. And he said, if you are willing to innovate, like if you're willing to try and learn more with the tools that exist at your fingertips, you will distinguish yourself. People will recognize that. You will do it a little bit better, so people will recognize it, but people will see you're constantly tinkering and constantly looking to innovate, not just work off like the norms. Like, this is what everyone does on social media, so I should do that too. Norms mean normal. Normal means average, maybe even below average. And so what he's saying is, no. Not what everyone else is doing. How do you innovate and do it better? Great call with Mahesh, or great podcast with Mahesh. And then the last one was with Alan Stein. And you're seeing a picture here of Alan. And Alan and I met on the mountain. And Alan has had wonderful influence on me. What Alan said was, I have a brand. Me, Alan Stein Jr., I have a brand. And I'm going to make that brand throughout the world. And I'm going to tell people what I know. And so like that would suggest that Alan Stein would be egotistical, or think he's better than everyone else, or think he's smarter than anyone else. So then we had Alan Stein on. And here's what Alan Stein says. He says, you got to live in your strength zone. Like, where are the things that you're great at? For him, it was basketball and a willingness to learn. He loves those two things. And he said, how do I put those two things together? And that was the brand he built. So what's your strength zone? Like, what are the things that you're really, really good at? Can you put them together, and can you put them together in a way that can create a better you? And so I thought that was awesome. And then he had two other thoughts, which I just loved. I think about them all the time since our conversation a couple of weeks back. The first one was, basic isn't easy. Basic isn't easy. And so if you can do the basics really well, he told a story about Kobe Bryant, who practiced layup after layup after layup. And everyone says, you're practicing layups, you should be practicing three-pointers. No. I've got to master the basics. I've got to be excellent at operating in social media, in listening, in asking questions. Those things sound very basic to us, so we don't practice them. He says, no. Basic doesn't mean easy. Get amazing at the basics, and all the other things will be able to be built off a stronger platform. And then the other thing is, he said, which I love, and is a challenging thought to consider. He said, too strong of an emphasis on your goals has a strong ability to negatively impact connections. So if you're a salesperson and you're saying, I need to get business, I need to get this product sold, I need to make this much money, it's really, really hard for you to create genuine connections with your clients. And so what he's asking you to think about is not your goals, but their goals. And if we're focused insanely and intensely on our clients' goals, our goals will be a foregone conclusion. We'll get them every time, and we'll get them in spades. We'll exceed them. We'll exceed them by forever. And so I've seen that personally. That has worked for me personally. Forget about what I want. Let's get my clients what they want. And so there's a consistent theme with these podcasts and with these leaders that we've talked to in the past. So I'll wrap up with this thought: to master the basics, to listen with the intent of helping, not ourselves, but them. Good selling, everybody.